Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a hot minute. I feel like I say that every time I make a video because I seem to not make videos as often as I should. Ignore this. The mask wearing at work has like completely just destroyed my face, so we're just ignoring that. Today I'm going to be doing a summery, bronzy, flowy kind of look that's like good for the summer. Since we are in summer right now, I just got back from Florida, so yeah, I figured what better time to do a summery look, even though you really can't go anywhere, as you shouldn't be, but you know, if you feel like dressing up for work or if you feel like just dressing up around the house, this is a good look for you. I'm currently in classes to be a certified makeup artist, so I kind of got the idea from there because I was shown the look. And you have to practice the looks. I figured what better time than to do it now. But yeah, so today's going to be like a summery, like bronzy, glowy type look. Which I know I do that all the time normally, but we're just going to do it today. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can kind of see what's going on. So here's my face. Just ignore. Yeah. So we're going to get started with the face. I'm just going to prime. So I'm going to start off by using the MAC Fix Plus, like the Prep and Prime. Just to kind of, I don't really know what I'm trying to say, but just to kind of prep the face a little bit. And then it's going to kind of dry a little bit. And I'm going in with the NYX Shine Killer Primer. If it'll focus. There we go. The NYX Shine Killer Primer, and I'm just going to put this on my face because you know I have oily skin, so this is kind of like a saving grace for me some days. I'm going to warm it up in my hands, and then I'm going to put it on my cheeks and in my T-zone because that's where I get the oiliest. I'm kind of just putting this everywhere mostly, but focusing it really in my T-zone. And then right here on my cheeks where I get like the oiliest. Alright, so I'm going to let that kind of sit for a minute. And I'm going to do something different. And I'm going to go in and do brows first. So I'm going to attempt the fluffy brow look. I cannot tell you how horribly this is probably going to go, but I'm going to attempt a fluffy brow look. So I'm going to zoom in a little more so that you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. Let me scoot up. That way you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. So you start off with a brow gel. I'm taking the NYX Control Freak, and let me get my mirror. And with that, I'm going to brush the hairs up. Like so. And then I'm going to take my pinky and like push them down to the skin. Like that. I need to get my brows done so bad. But everything's been shut down. So it makes it a little bit difficult. And I'm just too lazy to do it myself, if we're being completely honest. Alright, so now that you look crazy, I'm gonna take the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow in the shade Dark Brown. Never even been touched. Look at that. I don't even want to mess it up. But I'm going to take this JS7 brush, and I'm going to take this end of it and kind of dip that in there. And then I'm just going to follow my brow shape, I guess. And the point is to kind of make them as natural and fluffy as possible, I guess. I haven't used a brow product like this in God knows how long. It's kind of like just recreating your brow, I guess. It's a very dark shade. My hair got a little lighter in Florida. As you can kind of tell, it's kind of looking red because I've been in the sun for like 6 months. So the dark brow hairs are looking a little crazy, but dark brown is my normal shade. The fluffy brow thing isn't really working for me. Maybe it's just because I have too thick of brows to be doing this. I literally never do my brows first, and there's a reason for that. They look pretty though. I kind of gave up on the fluffy brow thing, so we're just gonna pretend like that didn't happen, and I didn't say that. So now I'm just gonna kind of carve them out because I kind of went a little cray-cray on the brows. I'm just finding a brush. And I'm just gonna put some on the back of my hand. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Creamy Concealer. And I'm just going to take some of this concealer and kind of carve the brows, just so they look a little less crazy. And I'm just going to kind of drag it down to kind of make this an eyeshadow primer as well. My eyebrows are just going to be cousins. Very distant cousins today. Y'all kind of get the idea for the whole fluffy brow thing. You fluff them up, and then you take a pencil or whatever and you kind of lightly fill them in so they look more natural, but I ain't about that life. So now we're gonna go into the eyes. I know I'm doing everything backwards today, but that's okay because I just kind of feel like it. So I'm gonna take the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. Those eyeshadow brushes suck. The Soft Glam palette, and I'm gonna go into the shade Orange Soda. This one right here. And I'm gonna take it on a JH34 brush. It's kind of like a big fluffy brush. And I'm gonna tap some on the brush. Tap off the excess. And I'm gonna, hold on. This video is just a mess. I kind of forgotten how to make videos. I'm basically going to be keeping this on the outer corner, just to kind of like start off with transition. And I start off by patting the color onto the lid and then blending it out, because I'm finding that the colors tend to stay on better when I pat them, and they tend to come off looking way better because the full pigment shows up instead of like the half blended pigment. And I'm not doing a whole lot. Just to kind of start a transition, because then I'm going to go into the shade Rustic, which is this brown shade right here, because you're just kind of going down the line of colors right there. And I'm going to take this on a smaller brush. A little bit more of like a preciser brush so that way you can get into the corner. So I'm going to take a little bit of the shade Rustic and I'm going to tap some off, and I'm just going to tap it right here into the outer V of the eye. To kind of deepen it up. I don't know if you can kind of tell what I'm doing. And then I'm just blending it out so there are no harsh shades. Just to kind of avoid the harsh lines. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of like my camera doesn't want to focus on me. It's kind of like my camera's just not wanting to focus on me today. What's that Ariana Grande song with Iggy Azalea where it's like, focus on me, focus on me. Anyways, I'm putting this in the outer V. That was so random. And I'm kind of blending it out. And keeping it to the outer edge. And just kind of blending it so there's no like harsh lines. Because then I'm going to take an even smaller brush and I'm going to go into Cypress Umber, which is this darker brown shade. I'm going to take the JH40, which is this really small kind of, it's a smaller kind of brush right here. And I'm taking the shade Cypress Umber. Not a lot, just kind of tapping it off. And I'm kind of like lining the eyes with it, but blending it out. Like I'm kind of lining and then blending. Does that make any sense? Like I'm lining and then I'm blending. Kind of like that. Because remember, this is like a deep bronzy kind of look. So you want to keep it on the outer V. So you always want to take a clean brush and kind of go back in and blend it so that way it's not so harsh. Alright, so now I'm going to take that same brown on like a liner brush. This is just a random, probably like dollar store brush that's an angled brow. And I'm just going to take that Cypress Umber shade and kind of stipple that brown where you would put eyeliner. It's kind of acting as a fake liner, I guess you could say. Because then I'm going to take the brown brush I used and blend it out so there are no like harsh lines or anything. Alright, and then I'm going to take the shade Fairy, which is this gold shade right here, and I'm going to put it on a JH42 brush. And first, I'm going to spray the brush with my MAC Fix Plus. And I'm going to pick up that shade Fairy. And I'm going to place it from inner corner, ooh, that's pretty, all the way to like about halfway. And then I'm gonna use my finger to kind of blend it out so it's not so harsh. As pigmented as this is, you could probably cut a crease with it. Just like that. And then I'm gonna take that shade that had the brown on it and kind of blended the two together so there aren't any like really harsh lines. Like that. So I'm actually going to attempt lashes. So let's not laugh at the 12 hours it's getting ready to take. I'm gonna curl my eyelashes real quick. This is a little Sally Hansen eyelash curler, and I'm using the Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive and the Kiss Lashes number 11, just like that. And I will be right back because this is going to take me a century to do, so I'll be back and I'll look all lashed up and everything. Oh, for the mascara, I'm using the KKW Beauty black mascara. So that's what I'm using for lashes, and I'll be right back. Alright, so lashes are on. Alright, so now we're gonna move on to the face. I'm gonna color correct because of this. So I have my NYX color correcting concealer, and I'm going to be using the green one for my acne. And I'm going to be taking this e.l.f. eyeshadow C brush, dipping into the green just a little bit, goes a long way. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to tap it onto that acne, and I'm gonna blend it in. And making sure I really cover it. Because you don't want to put too much or it'll turn your foundation green. Like that. Okay. Then, so because we already primed the face before, I'm just going to go into foundation now, and I'm using the L'Oreal True Match foundation in Shell Beige, which is C4. And I'm going to put some on the back of my hand. I like to start off with a little bit, and then I take my beauty blender. This is the Sonia Kashuk beauty blender. I spray mine. I don't really wet them. I spray them with setting spray, and then I'm gonna go in and just start to cover my face. Make sure you drag down the neck too. You gotta be careful with the brows because we did brows first. I love that foundation so much. It's so pretty. If we're being completely honest. That's like my favorite foundation right now. In the winter, it'll be something different, I'm sure, because it's too dark for me in the winter. But right now, it's very pretty. It's very like glowy, dewy, pretty. I love it. It's perfect for this look. So now we're gonna go into concealer, and I'm using the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Concealer in shade Fair 20 In, and this is just gonna brighten that under eye just enough, and I'm gonna put it in kind of like all the high points of the face, and I'm gonna use a little bit to kind of conceal that a little more. And then I'm gonna go back in my beauty blender and blend it out. And I use the concealer to kind of clean up the edges, because I feel like it just gives you such a nice, like, straight cut kind of look. And I personally love it. It's like my favorite thing to do, is to really like cut the eyeshadow to look so just like clean, I guess you could say. Now I'm gonna go in with my KKW Beauty contour stick. This is the medium contour, and I'm using the darker side, which is medium 2. And I'm just gonna kind of do a little bit of a cream contour. I don't know if y'all have been watching me that long, but when I first started YouTube, I was terrified of cream contour, and I was terrified of bronzer, because I just thought it made me look horrible. And I thought that it really like just made me look too like, I don't even know how to like say it. I thought it looked bad because of the darkness right here, because I was like, oh my god, I'm not that dark, what do I do? But I mean, honestly, I was probably using the wrong shade, but that's why I used to be afraid of it. I wouldn't go near it. I bought like the cheapest little contour kit. I still have it somewhere. I bought the cheapest one. It came with color correcting in it and everything. It was horrible, and I'd hardly ever use it, and when I did, I blended that crap until you couldn't see it anymore. You couldn't even tell I was wearing it by the time I was done blending it. And then I just take it. I'm using this JS1 brush, by the way, to blend this in. I know it's a foundation brush, but I have been using it to blend my contour. I'm kind of blaming my sister for that one, because she got me into, she's the one who started blending her contour with this brush. She used it for bronzer. And you know, one day I just got curious and I tried it. And now I just can't live without it. It makes it look so good that it's ridiculous. And then with that, I'm gonna set my face. And I'm using the Coty Airspun powder, my Saving Grace. I love this powder so much. And I'm using the Morphe sponge. And I'm gonna spray that to kind of make this just a little damp, so it's not so drying. And I'm just gonna put some powder on it, and then I'm gonna go underneath the eyes. And really kind of bake that area specifically. To really make sure this look stays. I'm gonna kind of drag it down the side of my nose. Kind of like where I contoured. Then I'll put some on my forehead. I'm not gonna bake the forehead, because that's just asking for a mess. And then I'm gonna put it on my chin. I bake under my eyes because I personally cannot stand the oiliness that I get right there. And then I just kind of pat the rest of the face with a little tiny bit. And then I'm gonna drag this down the center of my nose. just to really get that contour shape like that. And I'm just gonna let that sit for a minute while I go in with my bronzer. And I'm gonna go with the Hoola by Benefit, and this is just their normal original shade. And I'm gonna take this JH05 brush, which is kind of like a dense brush, and I'm gonna tap into it, and then I'm just gonna, just so it's not too much, and I'm gonna put it exactly where I put the Kim contour, and bring it in just a tad further. So pretty much everywhere I put Kim, I'm gonna put Hoola. Wherever I put that contour is where this is going. And I'm also kind of bringing it in just a little further to really carve the cheeks. And I'm just taking my time because you don't want to look too muddy or like too bronzy, because there is a such thing as too much, because then it starts to look muddy and fake and just not cute. And then I kind of put it down here too. And then I'm gonna take the same brush, and I'm gonna kind of go in here and just really contour that nose. I have a smaller brush that I'm gonna take. This is the JH53 brush, and I'm gonna dip into that, tap it off, and really focus that contour. It's gonna be like a wet nose by the time I'm done with this. 'Cause you don't want like too much. And you're just gonna let it sit for a minute, because I'm also gonna take, not that, the powder, and kind of do like this, just to really sharpen that look. And this is just gonna, it's not gonna blend it, so don't freak out because you're not gonna look blended under here. But it's just a trick I do to really sharpen that contour. Because you're gonna come back and like wipe all the excess away in a minute. Because you don't want to look crazy. Kind of like I look right now. But that's fine. So now that that's sitting just a little longer, I'm gonna go in with blush, and I'm using the Natasha Denona Diamond and Blush palette. And I'm gonna go in with the powder blush, which is right here. And I'm going in with the JH04 blush brush. I'm just gonna tap into that, tap off the excess, give a little smile, and put that on the apples of my cheeks. And I kind of just blend it up and out. It's got a little bit of a glow to it, so I do go in with a kind of a matte blush, because it's got some glow in it, and I don't necessarily like glowy blushes, but I do take my sponge and kind of mat it down. This is my powder sponge, by the way. I kind of make it a little less sparkly, and then I hit it one more time, and then I hit it one more time, just to really be sure it's not like boom in your face. So now I'm gonna take my big fluffy powder brush, and I'm going to wipe away all the powder. just so you don't look crazy. And you're gonna see what I mean by like the difference it makes. Like, I have a whole new nose. And then I also kind of run the powder brush around just to really be sure. That it's all like in there. Because I'm also gonna go back into my eyeshadow now that my concealer and powder is done. And I'm gonna take the Rustic and Cypress Umber, and I'm gonna put it on the outer edge of my eye. And then I'm gonna hit my bottom lashes with mascara. Then I'm gonna hit my face with some setting spray. Let that dry for a second. And I'm gonna go into an Ofra highlighter in Rodeo Drive. And that's what it looks like. Oh, this is like the best highlighter on the entire planet, okay? And I'm just gonna hit it just a couple times and just watch. You see what I'm talking about? Crazy. Although I hate that this is here because literally it just accentuates it, but I don't even care. This highlighter is too good. Right now, this is my good side. And then I like to run it through that top right underneath the brow. And kind of connect it into like a C shape. And then I take kind of like my middle, like ring finger, and I pop it right into the inner corner. Just to give myself some glow everywhere. Alright, now for lips. So for lips, I'm going to be using the Kylie lip liner in Iced Latte. So I'm going to line my lips real quick. So now I'm going to use the Maybelline Superstay Ink Crayon in the shade 20, Enjoy the View. And I'm just going to fill my lips in with that. And I really like the contrast because it kind of goes from like the brown lip liner to the pink. And I just think it blends together so well. And I rub them together just like that. And then I'm going to take this Essence Plumping Nudes lip gloss in the shade 02 Big Softy. And it's just kind of a nudie brown color, which kind of ties in with what I've got going on. And I'm just going to put it on to give myself that glossy, pretty look. Alright, so that is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed and you try this look for yourselves. I personally love this and I'll probably wear it to work and whatnot, but I think it's really pretty. I also just really love how simple but like glam this is, and it's like just so like natural but glowy but glam but like bronzy, and it's just the perfect summer look in my opinion. And you can do it without the lashes, or you can put the lashes on. It's really up to you, but personally I like it with the lashes, and it takes me 40,000 years to put lashes on, but I just love how this looks. So yeah, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see the full look. Alright, so that is the final look, guys. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you recreate it. I hope you love it as much as I do. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.